everyone, and welcome to the final stream of this week. It is Monday, it is approaching 3 p.m. here, and I am not recording. So, sorry, I'm going to download it from Twitch later. Oh, I've gotten so good at remembering that as well. Damn it. Oh well. Okay, hello. It's Monday, and I have no energy left. As you may know, if you've been following, Monday is the equivalent of Friday for me, so I'm very tired. I'm sort of like, I'm halfway through. No, I'm not halfway through, actually. I'm a third of the way through my studying hours for today. And I don't really want to do any more. So I've been in a reasonable amount of pain for the last few days. I learned that way. There's more room that way. This lovely thing you can see behind me is an electric heated vest, which is currently heating the pain in my back. And I have another one that's flat that heats the pain in my hip. And sometimes my knee and my ankle and the other bits of my body that decide to be in agony. So that's made it hard to focus. It's also made me very tired. Definitely when I have, especially when it's like this, where it's not like the pain isn't so intense that I can't do anything. It's just bad enough that it's affecting everything. When it gets so intense that I can't do anything, I tend to have to go into full-on rest mode. So at that point, I get more rest because I'm going to bed. I spent a lot of this, basically all of this morning in bed because I can, because this is my later day. And that was helpful because it meant that, I got some rest because I require that apparently. But yeah, so I got here okay once I'd gotten up, and I have done a load of writing. I've written almost another 500 words today, which means I'm still on track for my 6,000 words by the end of whatever this month is, September. I know what day of the week it is and what time it is and everything like that. That's all fine. What are you talking about? So I've done that already, and I did that first deliberately because I know I don't have a lot of energy today. I don't have a lot of spoons. Spoons are being sapped by said pain, especially because it's a really it's a pain that's based in the sensation of an ache that then is so sharp it's painful. It's quite hard to describe, but maybe that worked. So that's a bit bothersome. So yeah, I did that first thing. And what I did, that was just a bit of working on some of those things where my supervisor had told me to sort of expand some of my descriptions and to go into those a bit more. And I did a bunch of that, and that was about, I think, 480 words, something like that. So that's good. Very much on target. In fact, beyond on target for what I need to do each day between now and the 30th. So my plan, I've also been uploading a bunch of these to YouTube because I fell behind with that after saying I was going to do it every day. I did not. So I'm just chain uploading them today, and hopefully we'll get to most of them. Then my plan is to do the same thing as I've been doing before of read one article, copy one set of notes in. However, an exciting news on the note copying, and it's really exciting only to me, is that I only have, where I'm up to, she says then, that I only have this much left. That's how, and most of that is from that conference I went to a couple of weeks ago. So it's really not a lot, and it's going to go quite quickly. I don't think I'll finish it today, even if I, even if I summon the energy to do more than one. I'm definitely not going to have the energy to read more than one article. I don't really have a brain today. I've been studying very hard and working very hard and then very tired. So I'm really pleased with how I'm doing. And I think it's okay to have a low low effort, low energy day. That's why I've titled this stream that. And also, I don't really know what else I want to talk about today, other than the fact that I plan to not do very much. But I think that's, I'm laughing at that, but I think that's a really hard thing for me to do, and it's a really big thing to be able to do, because I do put a lot of pressure on myself. My brain weasels put a lot of pressure on me. I feel there's one of the like problems and paradoxes about having any kind of chronic illness or disability is that you are simultaneously repeatedly told that you cannot do things, and also that you must get to the point where you can do things. So there's constantly this battle, and I'm using that metaphor deliberately now because it's one of the reasons I hate the war metaphors in healing. I'm just going to keep doing this with my arms. One of the reasons I hate that is that battles are not good, and having a battle between those two tensions, both of which are placed on us by an ableist society, are not great. And that also happens, and I also feel a pressure to, you know, fit in a society based on how much can you produce, and I definitely feel that with my writing and with my work and with everything in my life. I feel like, oh god, I haven't actually produced something, I have no worth, and that's shit. Sorry, I'm trying not to swear on this. I'm actually quite a sweary person, and this is very difficult, just to be clear. Yeah, it sucks, and it happens, and I think one of the most important things is to be compassionate towards yourself, but to be compassionate, I think there's one of the things I've always found hard with self-compassion is I've always felt that I have to like myself before I can be compassionate to myself, but that's not true. You can have a neutral to negative opinion of yourself or aspects of yourself and still be compassionate towards yourself. That's not, you don't have to like absolutely everything about yourself first. And also, I think if you did like absolutely everything about yourself, something would be a bit weird. Like, you've got to, because you never want to self-improve, because everyone can improve in some way. I don't necessarily mean in terms of their productivity. In fact, I specifically don't mean in terms of their productivity. One of the things a lot of us can improve on is letting go of that ridiculous socially constructed obligation. But yeah, so I think one of the nice things about being able to say, okay, I'm not doing as much today, is that I can, well, one, that I can do that at all, because I never used to be able to do that, but also that it, it does open up that room to be more compassionate towards myself. It in itself is an act of compassion to say, maybe you don't have to operate at 100% or 150% all of the time, it's maybe that's okay. And that's quite, that's a thing I find very difficult to say to myself. And I feel like I'm just waffling around the same point now. Partly because I don't know what else I was going to talk about. Possibly thinking about next week would be a good idea, both for me and for having another 20 minutes of stuff to talk about. So I obviously I want to keep writing. I think, so what I did this week is I had one day that I dedicated fully to writing, and writing was the only thing that I did. What actually ended up happening, well, I streamed as well, but what actually ended up happening was that I did my stream first. Oh, so I haven't actually talked about this yet. Yeah, so I wrote 500 words yesterday in the half hour after I stopped streaming. And then I stopped and didn't do any more studying that day because I'd already achieved what I wanted to, and I've put into Scrivener my actual word target now, so I can see how much I'm doing each session and how far that is in terms of stuff. So that's been really nice. And yeah, so I think I'm probably going to do that again one day next week, maybe 2 days. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I either want to just do one and then try and do some writing each day, and I think that's more where I want to go. Because whilst today and yesterday I've done like almost 500 words or over 500 words, which is a lot, given I only need 2,000. I'm at 4,000 and something now, so I'm not that far off getting to 6,000, which I've got another 9 days to do. And it doesn't, yes, I've only got 5 more days of studying time in there, but if I did 500 every day, I'd go well over 6,000. So there may be days where I don't do as much. There might be days where I do more. It just depends what bit of filling in / expanding upon I'm doing and how big the tangent is that I go on. So in the end, I did yesterday do the full description of having a panic attack, and then today I did some more expansion around the opening section, and then I've got just all sorts of other things to pick at and go through and expand. So that's going to be fun, and I actually do mean that. That's not just me saying, "Oh, that will be fun." Yeah, so that's definitely helping. Having that list of things I want to do. So I will continue picking through that. My next supervision is 9th of October. Something like that. It's not the week. Yeah, it must be the 9th of October. So that means that at that point I'll both have got to my halfway mark and have had some time to go past it a bit. So that's a good place to put it, I think. And then the next one will be like when I'm in the editing phase, when I have the full draft done in November, which is not as far away as it seems, because it is almost the end of September. So yeah, there's all of that. Yeah, so I think I probably will just stick to 1 day of just writing next week. I'll see how I feel. It might be that I get partway through the week and I go, no, actually I'd like to do this again. And then on the other days, obviously I'm almost done. Well, I say I'm almost done with these notes. This is my PhD notebook, which is beautiful, by the way. I assume I have shown this before, but it's a really lovely book. It is hard cover, which I don't usually go for. I really like soft cover books because I like that they stay open better. This is my dissertation notebook, which also has a load of notes in that I also need to digitize, and there's quite a lot more in here. I think partly because it's a bigger notebook, my notes are quite dense, so I've got those then to digitize afterwards. So, but I think theoretically I could, by the end of next week, have all of this done. It depends how hard I go into it, and then after that I can just do the maintenance, where the whole idea is that every Monday, probably, I will go through and put in all of the notes from the previous week. And then I'll do it effectively, I'll be doing it in smaller batches rather than like every few months going, oh God, I haven't digitized any notes in the past ever. Because it's a habit I want to get myself in for January onward. Yeah, so then I think I can't remember how far into the book I'm reading I am. I should finish it by the end of next week. So that will be nice because I've been in it for a while. I think because it's weird when I was at university, like it literally on campus rather than at university in the sort of general sense. I found it really easy to read like an entire book in one sitting, even when it was quite dense, like philosophical stuff or that sort of thing. And I can't do that at home. No. But yeah, and then once that's done, I've actually got this here. So where I'd said I was worried that I only had the French copy of Théâtre sans double, it's all right. I've got an English copy as well, so I can go through that and get out some quotes on the stuff that I want about theatre of cruelty, and then I can also I can look at them in the original French as well, in case I randomly decide I want to quote them in the original French rather than in the translation. I think it's a reasonably good translation. I don't really remember. I can't imagine I got a bad translation of it. But yeah, so I've got that to go through next week as well, which will tie into stuff I'll be writing. So potentially, like one day, I can specifically go to do this both in my reading and my writing, which might be a nice way of doing it now that I can target better what I'm actually going to do. That's quite a good idea, actually. Well done me. This has been productive. Oh no, I wasn't trying to be productive. But yeah, and then I think just generally trying to have another week of plodding. I can't speak today. Plodding along through things. Yeah, and I think that's about it, really. We're only 15 minutes in. This feels really. Yeah, I don't know what else. I have got. I've still got all my quotes. I'm not even going to try holding that up. They'll just all fall off. They're not stuck to that board very well at all. I do need to put those into the right things. Maybe I will try and do that today. And then I have achieved 100% of what I wanted to this week. And that will feel quite nice. Now overheating. As you can see, yeah, so it's connected to a wire. But it does make you overheat if it's particularly warm. That's been the worst thing about summer, is heat is really effective for reducing my pain. In a way, heat is more or as effective as reducing my pain as my really intense painkillers are. But the problem is where it's been really warm, you don't want to sit in a heated blanket effectively when it's that warm. It's not pleasant. Especially because any additional discomfort is magnified by chronic pain, and I think that's one of the things we don't talk about a lot, is that obviously the pain is bad, but then when you're already in pain, you're already it's like if you're frustrated with something and something else bad happens, that then seems a lot worse. It's exactly that sort of thing. If I'm in pain and then it's so hot, I'm sweaty and horrible, I have more trouble with both, because then the combination is like magnifying everything and they're reflecting back on each other. But yeah, I don't know really what else to say today, because I don't have any spoons, and I think that's okay. I mean, I could continue to sit here for another 10 minutes and talk about how I'm allowed to need to slow down for a bit. But I think the point has been made, and I think that would probably be undoing the point, because then I'd be like, trying to put too much effort into explaining it. And I think that's the thing. I have this tendency to seek to justify the need to take time off, when in fact I don't. I saw this amazing thread on Twitter from presumably someone who works in some sort of student support service. And the tweet was something like, hey, I was just wondering if I could get an extension too, and then it's interrupted in all caps with the response being, yep, fine. And then sort of the person's dying to go, it's just that, and they're like, no, it's okay. And that sort of, I always want to get better at doing that with myself, so that when I go, hey, I think I need to, I think that people telling me to slow down and have a slower day are right, and I should just stop there and then and then just say okay, and then just do that, rather than what I tend to do, which is going, yes, because if you sit and analyze all of the productivity I have had over this week, no, you don't need to do that. You can just say, okay, do less. That can be the end of the conversation. And I think it's very hard to, again, because of the default of having to justify why you can't do something, especially when you're disabled. It becomes a habit, an ingrained response, because you spend so much time proving what you can and can't do, and having to defend it and justify it and stuff, and advocate for yourself. And advocating for yourself is incredibly tiring. So it's nice to not have to do that. And surely with myself is the one place where I definitely shouldn't have to do that, but it still happens. So yeah. So with that in mind, I'm going to end there, and I'm not going to try. What if you had hands the size of symbols? That's a particularly weird question to ask someone doing an academic vlog, but okay. I'm not really sure how it's relevant to my research. You know, I mean, also, I think there are some symbols that are this small. So, yeah, so I'm going to leave it there and not really justify it. This person is continuing to ask me obscure questions that I'm going to stop answering, and I'm instead going to leave. So thank you all very much for coming. And this is the last one until Thursday. I will see you again then. And I hope you all have a lovely middle of your week. Right, guys, bye.